Let's get back to staff recommendations, and we are now down to, on page 22, item 22, regional infrastructure.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Regional infrastructure, as Mr. Rady set out earlier on, the $7.5 million borrowing facility did have a huge component of allocation of that loan monies to regional infrastructure. You'll recall the allocation to the Napier Museum, $2.5 million, and there was $2.5 million allocated to Hastings sponsored projects, and $500,000 to Wairau and $500,000 to Central Hawke's Bay. Now, what we're left with is the amount, the $500,000 to Wairau Community Centre upgrade. Now, that was in the 12-13 budget. We anticipated that would be paid in the 12-13 year. However, there is a delay in that project. I believe the community centre funding is also subject to central government or lotto funding, or one of those. And that's and decisions are being made there. I think the Wairau Community Centre upgrade payment of $500,000, we're anticipating paying that within the first 3 months of the 13-14 year. So we need to carry that forward. The other carry forward being requested relates to a sum of $1,250,000, which is half the amount put aside for the Hastings district projects, and you'll recall that $2.5 million was $500,000 to Tamata Park Visitor Centre and $2 million to the Regional Sports Park hockey turf. The 1.25 is half of that. There hasn't been any progress on Tamata Park or the regional hockey turf, as we've talked about the hockey turf earlier in the day. Tamata Park Visitor Centre, they're making good progress on that. Liz, you've had discussions with them on that. Yep. Again, we need to carry that money forward to have it available in our final annual plan for 13-14. Now, when we carry it forward, of course, we also carry the funding of that, which is loan monies, and also a grant from a sale of land non-investment account of $450,000. So the funding will be carried forward. The expenditure will be carried forward, and it'll be offset by the funding, so it won't impact the general funded position.
Thank you. Questions? You happy to move? Seconded. Councillor Douglas, wish to speak further? I'll put that motion in. All those in favour, please say aye. Contrary, no. Carried.
Hang on, Mr. Chairman, I'd quite like to get away and get some stuff done before dark. Do we have to continue now? Can we do this tomorrow, or do you want to?
We could do it tomorrow. I'd like to do. It's 27 in total, I think. 27 decisions there, and we're up to 22. Could we do one more? See how that goes. So
one more.
One quick one, Councillor.
Can you cope with that one? Which one?
Systems integration.
Mr. Chairman, this is an easy one. The systems integration project was set up 2 or 3 years ago. It had a budget of over $1 million. It covered finance systems, customer relation systems, information management systems, and accounts payable enhancements. The request here is and a regulatory billing solution. The request here is that with the amount of work being done over the last year, they've fallen behind on the regulatory billing solution, which is going to be tidied up in July, and there's a small sum there of $30,000 to complete that project, requested to be carried forward into the 13-14 year.
No move.
Wish to speak? Anyone wish to speak? I'll put that motion. All those in favour, please say aye. Contrary, no. I'm just thinking, Councillor Gilbertson, even if you did go, there would still be a quorum. So if others are willing to continue, and I think Councillor Curtin is coming back, is that correct?
Taken everything with him.
Oh, did he? He hasn't taken everything with him, has he?
Yeah, well, we can leave this till tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll sort of quorum. Thank you. I might give you a bell later on, Councillor Gilbertson. Thank you. Okay.
This is a tough one.
Right. Guppy Road building extensions.
issue, isn't
Yeah,
it?
this is really a timing issue. Guppy Road is certainly or our depot office at our depot in Guppy Road is certainly in need of some deferred maintenance. It's nowhere near code compliant. If we seek a building consent for any aspect of improvement work, so this is a provision for that, and it is a provision at this stage for some staff relocating from here out to there. We've deferred it at the moment while we still have capacity within this building, but this needs to be still on our books as a result of the deferred maintenance, and we will review staff numbers before, obviously, we make any commitment to spend this.
Questions? I've got one. I'm struggling to get my head around this. What's the cost of bringing it up to compliant?
At the time, off the top of my head, it was about 250 odd thousand, I think. Yeah, but whether or not you stick with the current building or whether you move to a completely new, take that one away, it's a second-hand 1970s version of. So, I mean, that's the sort of decision. It does need some thinking through before we get it underway.
Does that include any work to other buildings on the site?
No.
No, just the office complex.
It's the office complex, but that involved some of the internal fencing had to be moved, and there's an aerial there that needs to be moved. But no, it's specifically associated with the office complex.
Okay, questions, Councillor Scott?
I mean, there is an elephant in the room now with this one, and if we do carry this provision forward, and I'm quite happy to see it carried forward, it would have to be subject to some certainty around the future use of that. And I think, with next year, with the fact that we've got to wait until the Local Government Commission, comes back with a proposal that we really need to sit on this one until we know what the future of the needs for that area will be. I'm quite happy to see it carried over, but I think it's got to be subject to some fairly just a little bit of knowledge about what the future holds for us.
Just so I can get my head around it, Mr. Adey, how many folk are we making provision for us? Forget about DOC, forget about MPI.
This budget.
What's in there at the moment?
Yeah, there's quite a handful of extra staff out of this building.
12 additional.
12 out of this building.
Yeah, 12 out of this building. I think there's eight there now off the top of my head. I haven't got enough fingers. There's roughly 8 there now, possibly 10, and this provided for additional capacity for another 10 to 12 off the top of my head.
Just our staff?
Yes.
Not including DOC or MPI?
No.
At that site I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
The DOC and MPI side was potentially people domiciled on this office here. In other words, there was a rationalisation of field crew and field-based roles to Guppy Road with their four-wheel drive vehicles, dare I say, and a consolidation of related organisations with good alliances here in this building. That was the principle of it, but we haven't progressed that because frankly it's not on the agenda around whether it's renovations to this building or the other things we've got in train at the moment.
Well, it's the renovations of this building that have got me interested because the costs are large and the opportunity for recompense are not as large in my mind. So that's my conundrum here. Any other questions? Councillor Rose.
Just if you'd perhaps let me comment rather than question, Mr. Chairman. I was rather hoping we might address this tomorrow when we were a bit fresher and could talk the thing through, because it's been on the table a long time and it's been 3 or 4 years now, and I would like to see it either brought to a conclusion one way or the other. But like Councillor Scott, I think perhaps we would be wise to leave it there for this current coming year. But I think we need some resolution around it in this coming year. Maybe you staff need to bring another report back to us. But
if you're asking for resolution in this coming year, I think that's probably a bit optimistic in terms of local government commission decision timing. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that would all flow in, but anyway. I think
regardless of resolution, it still is against our bottom line this year, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mr. Chair, but even with local government reform, the roles, if you look at the functionality and the roles, those don't, I mean, at the end of the day, they are specialist roles by and large in this organisation. If I can make that comment.
Mr. Chairman, and I agree with that, but equally, should we not be looking about another one as whether there is resource sharing or sharing spaces elsewhere? I mean, that's the other side of this that takes advantage of other places. But just picking up that other question, I think Councillor Rose made, Councillor Scott, it doesn't affect the bottom line, does it? Because it's loan and asset reserve. I mean, if it affected the bottom line, I'd be in like Flint trying to get it, but I don't think it makes a difference. So whether it's in or out at the moment, my view is it just goes forward and we sort this through. But there's a number of other ways of looking at this thing, and I've always been worried about the Guppy Road one, because it's neither too small for one thing or too big for another.
Mr. Chairman, I'm quite happy to move that they approve the carry forward subject to the expenditure to be subject to a current business case at the appropriate time.
I'll second that.
Second that, Councillor McGregor. Any other speakers? Put that motion in. All those in favour, please say aye. Contrary, no. Carried. Thank you. I suggest we keep going.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. Look, don't ask me any specific questions about what these capital items are, but you did approve them last year, and the main reason that the hydrology group didn't go ahead and purchase them was because of their workload due to the drought. So they're fully intending that they would buy those items in the coming year, and have asked for it to be carried forward to enable them to do that around new river flow sites and rainfall stations.
Second. Speakers, put that. Probably not the rainfall stations.
I think through you, Mr. Chairman, that this is new river flow sites, but they're busy measuring the current ones where there are bands or minimum flow.
Other speakers, put that motion. All those in favour, please say aye. Contrary, no. Carried. Dalton Street Building.
Dalton Street Building, Mr. Chairman. This is the remediation works. In February 13, Council agreed to rather large sums being spent on this. An assessment was done at that time that $975,000 would be spent in the 12-13 year. It would appear as though $850 is going to be spent, so it merely needs $125 to be carried forward into the next year and added to the $1,237,000 already provided in the draft plan.
That's an estimated amount.
It's an estimate.
An estimation. Okay. It's in train. Someone happy to second that? Councillor Scott, you wish to speak? You wish to speak?
I just wanted to ask the question as a reference to some interest effect. Is that material?
No, not on 125. Although the total project it is.
Put that motion in. All those in favour, please say aye. Contrary, no. Carried.
The final one, Mr. Chairman, on page 24 refers to a change recommended to the resource management charges. I'm not an expert in this, but I think it's clarification, if anything, about just adding to paragraphs in order to clarify.
I'm happy to move, Mr. Chairman.
Someone happy to second that? Councillor Scott moved, Councillor Rose seconded. Any discussion? Put that motion, and all those in favour, please say aye. Contrary, no. Carried. It is us for the evening, is that correct? Or the last?
We've got to do the last one, which is to start considering, Mr. Chairman. So actually we've got them all as received and considered.
Have you done the civil offence ones?
No, Mr. Chairman, we've got one for tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Mr. McDonald is coming.
That's right, of course.
Mr. Chairman, the effect of all of this, however, is there, I mean, the bottom line is 166,000 negative at the moment, and it's shifted by whatever number in here, which is another 100-odd thousand, am I right, thereabouts? Yeah.
On page
80,
29, there is a
80,
table there to try and guide us through.
It's shifted by another 80. Is there a, and it's not easy to do, is there an estimated surplus this year nonetheless, despite these carry forwards in the general funds? I guess if I cut to the chase, what I'm trying to do is get it that it doesn't actually affect. In other words, we've got to look at overs and unders and what have you, and whether we can come to a view that we can manage this rate, because that's the discussion for later tomorrow. And I just was wanting to signal it rather than jump you tomorrow with that question.
So I think, Paul, what we need to do is, I always think the primary bottom line is big cash operating balance, and we'll give you a profile of that.
And any suggestion to how we can manage that against the rate, proposed rate increase, which is now gone on higher at roughly 80 now.
Thank you. Could we deal with the public excluded minutes here? Absolutely. So, more general business to begin with. Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I just would like to record the Karamu Planting Day and my thanks and congratulations to the staff on running an extremely good, well organised day. They got planted 2,500 trees, and they had 75 volunteers there. And they were queued up waiting by 9 o'clock in the morning, and they didn't finish until 2:15 in the afternoon.
Wow.
So tremendous effort, and I think we should pass on our congratulations to the staff. Really well done job.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Chairman? Following that, there's a planting at Pakipaki next Friday for those Saturday that didn't get a chance last Saturday.
Very good. Someone happy to move us into public excluded? Councillor McGregor, Councillor Scott. All those in favour, please say aye. Contrary, no.